Many guys tend to be arrogant, thinking they have everything figured out, so they resist learning new things. It's sad because there's ancient wisdom in the world that can truly transform lives and help you achieve your biggest goals. But it only works if you set aside your ego and adopt a student mindset. Today, we'll discuss 10 Stoic rules for success. These rules were established over 2,000 years ago and have proven helpful to countless people throughout history. Stick around to learn all the rules and see how you can apply them to your life. Rule 1. Stay a student and knowledge will reward you. Unfortunately, many guys online boast huge egos. They often preach be a leader, never a follower. But those who advocate this lack a student mindset. However, being a student essentially means being a follower. A true student listens and learns from their teacher's lessons. To become a great leader, you must also know how to be a great follower. We all need to know when to step back and let someone more qualified lead us. As Epictetus said, each of us is both a teacher and a student. We're all on a journey of self-improvement, but it's not a straight path, it's a spiral. Sometimes you follow someone ahead of you, and at other times, someone follows you. The notion that you should only be a leader and never a follower is nonsense. It's all about ego, and it stops you from being a good student. So humble yourself and embrace the mindset of a student. Rule 2. Communicate with the deceased. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, sought advice from a wise man after losing all his wealth. He wanted to know how to live the best life possible. The wise man advised Zeno to communicate with the deceased. Now, does that mean talking to ghosts or spending time in a cemetery? Of course not. No, definitely not. The wise man meant reading, because it's through books that we truly engage with people who have passed away. Their bodies may have returned to the earth or turned to dust long ago, but in the pages of a book, they are alive and well. Listen, we can gain wisdom from both the living and the dead by reading. I've included my top 6 book recommendations in the link below. These are the essential books that every man should read. Click on the link in the description to access it. Remember, not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers, so make sure to read. Rule 3. Master your mornings. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor, commanded respect from many, yet he was simply a mortal like you and me, made of flesh and blood. Even Marcus had days when he felt lazy, tempted to linger under the warm covers instead of rising. But what set him apart was his refusal to yield to these temptations, ensuring he didn't neglect his morning duties. He understood that seizing the mornings was crucial for success in life. Now we can see 2 strategies that, as an individual and as a content creator, I follow. Firstly, I jot down the most important tasks the night before so that I don't waste time deciding what to do when I wake up. Secondly, I engage in some form of physical activity to awaken the mind. Remember to keep things simple. You don't need a complex morning routine. Rule 4. Question the necessity. Many individuals get caught up in trivial tasks, wasting time on things that don't really matter. They spend hours on unimportant activities, procrastinating on the tasks they know are crucial. Then, they trick themselves into believing they've been productive. But let's be honest, completing a bunch of unnecessary tasks isn't productivity. It's foolishness. If you waste time on trivial tasks, you're essentially sabotaging yourself, and you'll never achieve anything significant that way. As Marcus Aurelius once wisely stated, the attention you give to any action should be in due proportion to its worth. This means that if a task isn't worth much, you shouldn't waste much time on it. We all have only 24 hours in a day, so it's essential to focus on what truly matters. Delegate or ignore the irrelevant tasks and concentrate on the ones that will make a real difference. Next time you find yourself doing something, ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now even important? Rule number 5. Bet all your wealth on what you control. Many people stress over things beyond their control, like other people's actions, politics, or global issues. However, the Stoics teach us to prioritize focusing on what we have power over and letting go of what we don't. Understanding this principle will keep you grounded and stop you from wasting time on things that won't move the needle. Instead, focus on what truly matters and helps you reach your goals. Your inner wealth and capabilities are the energy combined with the actions you choose and the time you have to allocate to these actions. When you waste your time on actions that yield no results or build potential wealth, you simply widen the gap from reaching your destination. Take, for example, dwelling on things that happen and cannot be changed, instead of focusing on what is within your control and acting promptly, because time is finite as well as your energy. So, if you spend these two, whether a little or a lot, before taking substantial steps on your journey, you will inevitably take smaller steps towards success or generally achieving your goal. If we exaggerate a bit, one might say that you are taking one step forward and 2 steps back. Rule 6. Avoid unnecessary worry. It's common for men to anticipate potential problems and dangers in life. However, upon closer examination, many of the negative scenarios we envision never come to pass. Seneca wisely stated that we are often more frightened than harmed, and we suffer more from our imagination than from reality. This statement highlights Seneca's observation that often, the fear of future events, the shadows of future fear, causes more distress than the actual events themselves. We tend to exaggerate a potential dangers and become overly anxious, which distracts us from focusing on the essential meaning of the present moment. So, by staying focused on the present moment, you can remain calm and be more productive. What you fear is less likely to happen than you might think. Rule 7. High standards but with moderation. Hold yourself to high standards, but be understanding with others. It's crucial to have strong principles and unwavering beliefs about what's right and wrong. However, we should also practice compassion and forgiveness towards others. This doesn't imply that we should tolerate unfair or harmful behavior, but rather that we don't need to criticize every person who doesn't behave exactly as we expect. Leading by example is a more impactful way to positively influence others. Essentially, this is the rule of you get what you give. People who try to approach you to benefit from your abilities need to understand that they should be kind and willing to accommodate your desires. Don't hesitate to say no where rudeness and refusal of reciprocity lie. This way, you'll receive what's given and nothing less. Don't allow the inflation of toxicity to exceed your standards, but rise above it and impose your own values, always with wisdom and within reasonable limits, without arrogance. Rule 8. Keep in mind that you face death every day. Seneca pointed out that we often make the mistake of viewing death as a distant event in the future. However, death is a part of our lives happening in every moment. Each passing moment brings us closer to it, and we cannot regain the time that has passed. Death is not something far off. It's a reality we live with every day. Therefore, we must live fully while we have the chance, avoiding procrastination, completing unfinished tasks, and making the most of our time while it's still ours. Moments are a gift that we should cherish as if they could be lost soon. Not to be pessimistic, but to elevate their value in our minds and give them the greatest possible importance. We shouldn't try to find ways to kill our time or let it pass just for the sake of it, but to give real meaning to each step we take. This means that even when we're not obligated to work and are resting in our free time, we should strive to adopt a mindset of productivity by enjoying activities that recharge us, such as reading, engaging in art in any form, having meaningful conversations with friends and loved ones about thought-provoking topics so that we can recharge their support and encouragement, and they ours, renewing our relationships with them wisely. Rule 9. Embrace the challenges. Stop saying, "Why me?" Instead say, "Try me." Life doesn't always go according to plan. It's full of surprises and unpredictability. Even Marcus Aurelius, a great figure, encountered challenges beyond his control. However, he chose to perceive events positively and turn them to his advantage. In life, we will experience both good and bad times. While you may experience sunny days, you'll also encounter dark, rainy ones, and sometimes even fierce storms. How you choose to deal with these challenges is up to you. You can either seek the positive side of what happens and use it to your advantage, or you can dwell in constant frustration and regret. Rule 10. Stop being narcissist. Stoicism teaches that narcissism, which is characterized by excessive self-admiration and a lack of empathy for others, is detrimental to one's well-being and relationships. According to Stoic philosophy, narcissism stems from a misplaced focus on external appearances and validation, rather than internal virtues. In ancient Greek mythology, where we can draw valuable lessons from parables and elaborate stories created by the ancient wise philosophers, there is one that refers to the source of the word, narcissist. It demonstrates the vanity that this type of psychological condition leads to and how pathetic someone can appear. This story tells of a particularly handsome young man whose grace enchanted a nymph whose name was Echo. One day Narcissus went hunting, and as he advanced through a forest, Echo noticed him, secretly following him to find an opportunity to speak to him. As she fell deeply in love with him the moment she saw him. However, Echo didn't know that many before her had tried to catch the attention of the beautiful Narcissus, but none had managed to move him. Eventually, Narcissus stopped by a river with crystal clear waters. The reason he stopped was that he finally found something that captivated him among all the beautiful faces he had seen and not been enchanted by, his own reflection. Echo, due to a curse given to her by Hera, could not speak freely. She could only repeat the words of others she had heard last. So she waited until Narcissus said something so she could approach him. Narcissus began to admire the wonderful face he saw, which was his reflection. He started saying many beautiful compliments, and eventually, Echo had heard enough to repeat them. Even though she spoke to him, Narcissus was so entranced by his beauty that he believed the words he heard were spoken by his reflection. Then Narcissus tried to touch his reflection in the river, and the image distorted and vanished due to the movement of the water he caused. Crushed, Narcissus plunged into the river to find the face he desired so much. Echo didn't get a chance to introduce herself. She just went to the spot where she saw him fall and repeated the last words she heard from Narcissus before he fell into the river. "Don't leave me." Saddened, Echo departed, and her spirit roams the mountains and caves of the world where if someone calls out, they will hear the echo. Our story shows that excessive focus on ourselves makes us miss out on things with real meaning, such as someone who cares for us and whom we can't notice as we're indifferent to anything else. Because we're lost in the depths of our egocentrism, like Narcissus, lost in the depths of the river trying to grasp his own reflection. Ultimately, this leads only to sadness, both for the people around us, like Echo who didn't find a response, and for Narcissus, who will never manage to catch his reflection because it's something that doesn't exist. To only concern yourself with striving and praising yourself is ultimately meaningless. Narcissus's downfall is a result of his self-obsession, which prevents him from forming genuine connections with others and living a fulfilling life beyond his own reflection. It serves as a reminder to seek balance in self-love and to value deeper connections with others in the world around us. Many times we have a lot to gain when we try to step out of our own box and give space to the possibility that we might also be wrong from someone else's perspective who cares for us. Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius all caution against the dangers of narcissism and advocate for humility, self-awareness, and empathy. When you are humble and have self-control, you manage not to expose yourself and reveal your flaws or advantages easily and quickly to others, unlike a narcissist who constantly boasts about who they are. This clearly helps you maintain a mystery that is lost if you are a narcissist, and by maintaining this mystery, you can be appreciated as a character more than those around you, since you are something that cannot be easily conquered or, in simple terms, accessed in terms of who you are. They should be prudent and speak with you so that only those who are genuinely interested in you will get to know you. This way, you will only make quality friends, and at the same time, you will protect yourself from people who do not care who you are. A narcissist easily becomes prey. They are an easy target. A person with humility and self-control is always more protected and less likely to fall victim to social conditions and situations such as censorship or being targeted in general. In Stoicism, overcoming narcissism involves shifting one's focus from external validation to internal growth and development. By practicing self-reflection, gratitude, and compassion, individuals can free themselves from the trap of narcissism and find true fulfillment in living virtuously. I hope this video has given you a taste of wisdom and that you can navigate life's journey with a little more ease. We are all called to participate in the race of life. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, may wisdom and tranquility guide you.